Creed 2, is it better than the first one? Stay tuned to find out. Okay, so Creed 2. Before I go into the movie, I'm going to let you know about my experience at the cinema because, yeah, it was just all over the place. So I'd gone there, sitting there waiting for the film. It looked like there was only 2 people, but it started filling up really quickly. So we had a couple who were sat next to us, and they were just constantly chatting throughout the film. And one of my friends was like, "Will you shut up?" Halfway through the film, we had a few boys that had turned up drunk, walking up the stairs. One of them goes flying on the stairs, popcorn everywhere. Cinema is absolutely laughing their heads off, and you also had just people shouting and laughing. So yeah, the experience at the cinema wasn't great, but the film was good. So the film starts off with Adonis Creed winning the belt. He's the champ, and he's got all these plans for the future. He wants to marry his girlfriend, and you've got Adonis who wants to also live the life of luxury with his beautiful girlfriend. You then get glimpses of the Dragos. So Dolph Lundgren comes back. I wasn't too sure on them bringing Drago back. I thought it could be a mistake. Is he going to be played as a parody? I don't know. I was apprehensive about Dolph being in this film. But he's fantastic. Oh, it's hot. Take this off. So you've got a promoter that's trying to bring the Dragos over to America and have Drago's son, Victor, challenge Adonis Creed. And Victor is an absolute monster of a man. You thought Drago was the big villain, then Victor is absolutely monstrous. So what I liked about this film was it was very much a father-son film. So you've got the sons who are wanting to better their fathers. So you've got Adonis who wants to defeat the Russians. You've then got Victor who wants to defeat the Americans, who obviously Rocky won against Drago. A lot of the scenes in this film as well, which I really liked. Stallone is really on his game in this one. I thought his acting is better in Creed 2 than the first Creed. But I don't think it will get as much recognition because of the, I don't know, my personal preference. I think because of the cancer element in the first Creed, I don't think the second one will get as much recognition. But personally, for me, Stallone was absolutely brilliant in this one. You've got lots of nods to Rocky 4 and the previous Rockies, which was really great for me because Rocky 4 is one of my favourite films. It was just really good to see a lot of things tied together. So Victor Drago, for me, he was a brilliant character because what you had was a character that you felt sorry for. So the Dragos have now come into a position of where when Ivan Drago lost in Rocky 4, he's been shunned by Russia. They don't want anything to do with him. He was an embarrassment to Russia, and Bridget Nielsen left him. So it was just Ivan and Victor who've got to look after themselves in a little poxy flat, training every day, doing little jobs here and there. So Ivan wants to make sure that Victor gets the best of the world, which he hasn't achieved. What you've also got is the element of Victor not having his mum around, who's played by Bridget Nielsen, who makes a brilliant cameo in this film. She doesn't have a lot of dialogue, but her presence has the impact on Victor, which is really good. So Victor, because he's not had his mum in his life, when they then meet, he's got all these emotions. He's trying to prove himself. Why have you left me? So some really good moments, especially at a meal with the Russians where Ivan and Victor have been invited to a meal and Bridget Nielsen turns up. There's some brilliant emotional scenes in this film. There's one scene which is a tearjerker, and the reason that I personally really liked it was there was no dialogue in this scene. It was all based on emotions, feelings. They didn't need to talk, and I thought that played off really, really well and gets you really invested. So Michael B. Jordan on top of his game again. So he suffers a loss in the film of the hands of Victor, and he basically feels like he's nothing. He doesn't want to speak to Rocky. He feels that he's betrayed him, and you then see the progression of Michael B. Jordan build up to then take on Victor. This film is predictable. There's nothing that you're going to be, oh, that's original. There's nothing original about this film, but the take on it is different, and it takes the Creed films in a different direction. The music in this film is brilliant. I love that you've got little hints of the old Rocky themes coming in, and then you've got some current music blended in with it as well. And you've also got Michael B. Jordan, Adonis Creed's wife, who's a singer in the film. She's got a part of the soundtrack as well. And there's a great scene with her at the end of, if you don't want to know, skip forward, but she turns up in the second fight at the end as the entrance singer, and I thought that was brilliant because that really showed that she's there for her man, and yeah, she's really rooting for him. You've got your typical training scenes which are really, really good, obviously get you pumped up, and the fight scenes really surprised me, so I wasn't expecting much from them, but they looked really good. They looked brutal, especially the fights that Victor was having, just the sheer power that he's got, and you can see quite a lot of them, they're connecting to make sure that the audience feel the punches. So I was really surprised with the fights, and I was really happy with how they turned out. There was one more thing that I really loved at the end. I'm not going to say what it is, but it really tied up the Rocky / Creed franchise together, and really shows that it's all part of one universe sort of thing. And it was great to see some familiar faces return back from the previous films. So I definitely recommend go watching this film. I really enjoyed it, and I think it's a solid sequel to Creed 1. I don't think it's as good as Creed 1, but I think it's just still a very good film, so definitely go and watch it. Make sure that you subscribe, hit that like button, drop us a comment. What did you think of Creed 2? Make sure to follow our Instagram, which we're updating daily.